Hi,
Hi,
everybody.
everyone.
Welcome back to Casual Conversation with G&A.
Welcome.
Today we have conversation 60, and it's the Betty and Barney Hill abduction case. So, I thought it was interesting. Heard of it before. I just didn't know exactly what it was. So I just thought, hey, let's talk about this and kind of
Yeah.
give our thoughts on it. So, without further ado, I think we're going to get started. And yes, go ahead,
So
Eileen.
here we go. So Barney Hill Jr. was born July 20th, 1922 in Newport News, Virginia.
Yeah, that's him right there.
Oh yeah,
Very
that's him.
handsome man.
That's him. Elizabeth
Hi, Diane.
Barrett was born in June 28, 1919, Newton, New Hampshire. Barney was a postal worker and civil rights leader. Betty was a social worker and civil rights advocate. On the night of September 19th, 1961, about 10:30 p.m., the Hills were
Driving
driving back to
to
Portsmouth
Portsmouth.
from US Route 3 vacation in Niagara Falls and Montreal. Betty saw a bright light in the sky that
Hi,
moved.
Sean. Sorry.
Hi. So it moved from below the moon. The light grew bigger and brighter. Betty tells Barney to stop the car for a closer look and walk the dog, Delcy, Twin Mountain.
Twin Mountain was where
Where they were?
stopped. Yeah.
That's where they stopped.
Hey, I believe
Hi.
podcast. How are you?
So Betty noticed an odd shape with multicolored lights. The Hills drove to an isolated road moving very slowly through Francoria Notch
I think so. I think that's what the little area was called.
to get a closer look. Betty said it looked to be about 40 feet long and seemed to be rotating. They both saw it descend towards their vehicle, causing Barney to stop in the middle of the highway.
Yeah, so basically like they were driving, they saw this light, and they decided to kind of get a closer look. They did have binoculars, so they were kind of like, trying to see what it was.
Yeah.
So that's why I guess they kind of went on a little off-road area to kind of get a closer look.
So it hovered about 80 to 100 feet from them. Barney stated that it looked like a pancake. Barney looked into his binoculars and saw about 8 to 11 humanoid figures who were peering out of the craft windows. So they were peering out of the craft windows. So a figure moved to the back to where it appeared to be a panel. Barney stated that they telepathically communicated with him, telling him to, quote, stay where you are and keep looking. End quote. Barney remembered them wearing a glossy black uniforms and black caps. The craft had bat-like wings with red lights.
Okay. No, we haven't seen the documentary. I saw little bits of it on YouTube, but we haven't seen it yet. But I wanted to talk about this part because that's crazy.
Yeah,
First of all, like you stop and then you look at your binoculars and you see like this pancake with little dudes in there.
Yeah, and then with bat-like wings, and then it's red, and then you see dudes, and then they telepathically communicate.
Exactly.
To you.
Okay, so back then it was in the 60s.
Yeah.
These the people, right? Betty and Barney, they didn't know nothing about no telepathy. Like that wasn't even like a thing back then. So he said, "Oh, they were kind of talking to me like without talking.
Yeah.
Like it was just like it would just come to my head." Which was pretty interesting. Hi, Lakaya. Hi, Chris. Hi, everybody. And so I thought that was pretty crazy because I can see that happening. I mean, definitely time and time again in abduction, stories, there's people that say
Yeah.
that they can telepathically communicate with these beings, which it's a trip. Like, to me, it's a trip.
Yeah, it
But I
is.
wanted to see if I can share because I have a picture of what it kind of looked like. Let me see if I can bring it up because every time I try to do this, like,
It's a fail.
yes, I have no slides.
There's no
I think I have to.
slides.
No, I think I have to click on the picture and then share my
Oh, okay.
screen.
So this is kind of like an image of what he was looking at.
Yeah. So
Interesting.
let me hold on, you guys.
I mean, just overall the story, it's there's a lot going on. I mean, just imagine you come from your vacation, right? You see the beautiful Niagara Falls, right?
Okay,
And
so
then,
this is what it kind of like the picture. Oops,
oh,
oops. I am sorry. That's what it kind of was portrayed
yeah,
as, right? That's what they were looking at. Let me put it again. Sorry, you guys. Oh, I need to open it.
yeah. I think you closed it.
I closed the whole picture.
Yeah, I think you closed the picture.
How am I gonna find it? You guys, I'm sorry we're having technical difficulties, but that's what it looked like because I don't know where I saved it to.
Yeah, that was a quick little glimpse of it.
Oh, I think it's right here, no? Yeah, I think I found it. Let me pull it up really quick. Didn't I just see it?
Right there, look.
Okay. All right, so let's go back. Okay, here it is. So that's what it looked like, right? So
Yeah.
that's what he was looking through his binoculars, and then he saw this little craft with the little dudes, right? And
Yeah.
then they open like a little hatch or a little like
Yeah, they had
panel
like a
thing,
little, yeah.
and they come down, and so that's when like they were allegedly taken, which I think, dude, why not? Like I believe it. Like I think they were abducted and they did go through this experience. But yeah, so this is kind of like a little picture I found on Google. So
Yeah, and I feel like the question here is like how would you like get to a point of being abducted, right? Like if they're like
to be
to close
honest,
proximity, but then it gets me thinking like, okay, if they were like telepathically communicating with him, you know what I mean?
So Betty had stated that he was in a trance-like state, like so that they kind of
you know what I mean?
manipulated with him
Yeah,
in
like,
order for him to kind of like
yeah,
do what they said.
I would feel like you would be in a trance and that
Yeah.
which would lead you to like, you know.
Okay, so first off, if you were to see this scenario,
Yeah.
you were this couple, right? Like, what is your first thought? Like, I think I would probably freeze and just be
Yeah.
like, dude, my brain is like, doesn't know what's going on.
Yeah, I feel like same. I feel like I would be speechless. I mean, what do you make of it? You know what I mean? I feel like, well, at this time,
Hi,
who
Jean.
knows how common aliens were, you know? But I like, and now at this day and age that we have like all this information about aliens and spacecraft, if you were to be able to witness something like this, I feel like you would be like, oh, these are aliens. This is a spacecraft. You know what I mean?
Right.
But you would still be in shock that you're actually seeing this, you know?
So the only thing too that I kind of wanted to put out there was about the Roswell incident, because I think that Roswell had already happened. So people had already had this connotation of spacecrafts and aliens and beings from another planet. Also, Betty's sister had witnessed a UFO in the past. So I think that she kind of, when she saw the light, she was kind of ecstatic. She was like, dude, that's a UFO. Like, let's get a closer look, you know? So, versus like Barney was a little bit more skeptical about it. He was like, no, maybe it's just an airplane.
Yeah.
You know? But all right. So let me stop sharing so we can get back to the story. Okay.
So, so here's a little side note, right? Little side note. So
let's see. Hold on.
the comments.
When I saw my UFO, speechless for a minute, and I got the fear if I moved to see it better, I'd get attacked. Yep.
Yeah.
I'd roll the windows down and get out for a closer look.
Yeah,
I think I would just go, man. I'd be like, let's go.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
I mean, you
think
know what they do.
I think that's definitely what would happen. You would be in shock, but at the same time, that flight or flight would kick in, where you decide, hey, am I gonna like leave or am I gonna stay and find out?
The
So,
curiosity.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. So,
I think I would leave.
I would
I'd be
leave
like,
too.
let's go.
Yeah. Okay, so the side note, right? On October 21st, 1961, Barney reported to the National Investigation Committee on Aerial Phenomena investigator Walter Webb that the beings were somehow not human.
So that's his thought, right? When he saw these entities, he's like, okay,
Yeah.
they are not human. So I just kind of like thought that was interesting that he did tell someone about that. That to
Mhm.
him, the way that they looked was not a human person. I bet there were many sightings in the 60s, but most people didn't report them because they thought they were crazy.
Mm.
Barney and Betty were brave to do what they did. Yes, they were. And yeah, because I was looking and they said that they were like the first
To report?
abducted people to report this ever happening, like in
Yeah.
history, I guess. So I thought that was interesting. Hi, Sue.
Hi, hello.
Hi, thank you for coming. And John, hi, John. Yeah,
So Barney ran back to his car and told Betty, quote, "They're going to capture us," end quote. He drove away as fast as he could. Betty looked out the window and they began hearing rhythmic series of beeping and buzzing that seemed to bounce off of their trunk.
that's crazy, right?
Oh my gosh.
Hi, Wig. How are you?
Hi. So, the car vibrated and they began to feel a tingling sensation through their bodies. They stated they felt an altered state of consciousness that left their minds dulled, and the beeping and buzzing brought them back to consciousness. Then they realized they have traveled 35 miles south, but only had spotty memories. They remember encountering the creatures standing on the road.
So I kind of wanted to just talk about that a little bit because they stated that they heard buzzing and beeping sounds.
Mm-hmm.
That I think that's crazy. Like that's
Yeah,
weird.
that
Um,
is.
and then especially when they were talking about feeling a tingling sensation and then
Mm-hmm.
also feeling like they were in a trance. That's probably because they were like coming either coming back from whatever trance they were in, or maybe they were, just remembering right before they were captured. I mean, it's just, I think it's
Yeah.
weird.
So, after they arrived at home, they still felt odd sensations and impulses they could not explain. Their watches had stopped working, and Barney's shoes were scrapped.
Scraped.
Oh, they were scraped.
She can't, half of the time, she can't read my writing, you
Yeah.
guys. So she's
So
trying.
they took showers and drew pictures of what they saw. Betty checked her clothing and saw that the dress was torn and had a pinkish powder on it. They also noticed shiny concentric circles on their car trunk that had not been there before. They experimented with a compass, placing it near the trunk, and the needle would whirl rapidly and uneven. Or what does that mean?
I bet the needle would whirl rapidly, and when they moved it away
Oh,
from the trunk, it would stop. So I
wow.
kind of wanted to share this, you guys, because I have a picture of what the drawings looked like. Because they stated that, they took a shower and after that they
Mhm.
drew pictures of what they saw. So I'm going to share like this picture that of their drawings, and then later they had somebody kind of like a professional drawer like draw what they saw. So let me see if I can share that really quick. Okay. Okay, because I have to open it, I guess. All right.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's pretty weird, huh?
I like the drawing.
Okay. So this is the drawing that Betty Hill, the one on the top left.
Barney,
Oh,
right?
Barney Hill drew this one because you can tell that it had like a little hat right here, right? Because he said that, oh, it looks like they had a hat and they were like they had big eyes, which he talks a lot about their eyes.
Wow. But look, check it out. It was under hypnosis.
Barney Hill, under hypnosis, drew the above sketch of the leader of the alleged abductors.
Wow.
So this was the leader here on the top. And then this one later, while he was listening to the tape recording of his own account of the incident, he seemed to go into a trance-like state and drew more finished sketched below. The eyes were elongated, he said, and the lips appeared to have no muscles. So here, never before shown publicly, these two charcoal sketches were done by David Baker, a man-like creature who allegedly helped abduct Barney and Betty Hill. Sketches are based on 2 interviews Baker had with Barney under hypnosis.
Wow.
So that, you guys, is creepy, okay? Like, look at this little dude in the back. Like, look at their little mouth. Like, come on. I don't know. That's
wow. I mean, that's interesting that, you know, even listening to his own recording of the incident, he got into a trance-like state where he was able to make another sketch, right? One under hypnosis and one under, you know, a trance-like
awake.
state.
And then this one was somebody like sketched it, which it doesn't look like they have ears. But I feel like the thing with Barney was that he would like focus so much on the eyes because he said that during his abduction, the leader had told him to like close his eyes, not to look. And so basically he just kept his eyes closed during the whole time. But he said that he felt like the creature's eyes went into his eyes and pushed his eyes in. And so I don't know, it was just a really weird like experience.
Yeah, because I mean, you can definitely, like in the sketches, you can see, you know, that emphasis on the elongated eyes, right?
And even on the second sketch, and then the bottom one, you can tell that they have these weird looking eyes. I don't know. Wow. They look creepy.
Yeah, they do look creepy.
All right. So, yeah, they don't use their mouth to speak. Because they were like more telepathic with him, which was interesting because Betty stated that she would talk to them and they spoke in English, but their English was she could barely understand what they were saying.
Wow.
The sketch looks like what this guy from Africa explained. I think his name was okay. I'm gonna have to look into that one. But yeah.
Wow.
So
on September 21st, Betty reported the incident to the Peace Air Force Base, which was then forwarded to Project Blue Book, study of unidentified flying objects by the U.S. Air Force. So Walter Webb, Boston astronomer, met the Hills on October 21st, 1961. In a 6-hour interview, the Hills related all they could remember of the UFO encounter, but they had a mental block. Interesting.
Okay. Did the Hills have children? I'm not sure. Like when I was reading, it didn't say anything about them having kids. They had the little dog, but they didn't really mention anything in all of like the research that I did. I mean, maybe I should have been more specific and been like, hey, do they have kids? But I don't know. That's a good question. I'm gonna have to like look into that. Okay. So 10 days after the encounter, Betty began having a series of vivid dreams. She kind of said that these dreams were like, they were very real, very like if she was reliving that situation. And she said that the dreams lasted about 5 days and she never had them again. She wrote about her dreams and she said that she had dreamed that 2 men forced her to walk into the forest at night and seeing Barney behind her, but when she called to him, he was in a trance-like state. Um, so I don't know. I think that the way she made it seem was that he was already in a trance-like state when he was driving and he made that one turn onto the off-road where I guess the beings had already, like where they stopped and they were taken. Um, so I mean, because she kept calling him and he wouldn't answer. And so she said that in one interview, she was saying that one of the beings asked her, "Oh, is Barney his name?" Because she kept saying, "Barney, Barney." And she's like, she kind of had attitude and she was like, "I'm not going to answer any of your questions, you know?" Which is cool, dude. Like, heck yeah, give him attitude.
Give him attitude.
But I think I would just be like, "Yeah, it's his name. Like, what else do you want from me?" You know, I would tell him everything. The creatures were about 5 feet tall, and they appeared human-like, with black hair and dark eyes, prominent noses, and bluish lips. Their skin was a grayish color. They walked to the lamp into the disc-shaped craft of the metallic. The craft had like a metallic appearance, and they once they got up there was like a corridor, she said, and they were separated, so they were taken to different rooms. And she also did mention that one of I think the leader of, that's what they call him, the leader, he had said, "Oh, well, we need to separate you guys because it's going to take longer if we examine both of you guys at the same time. We have to, like, it'll be faster if we just examine you guys in separate areas."
Okay, but examinations for what?
I don't know. Like, they were just trying to see what's up with these humans, I guess. The leader separated them, took him to separate rooms to examine them. So she called the examiner, which was the one that would come in and check them out. And the leader spoke little English and told her they wanted to know the difference between them and humans. They cut off a lock of her hair and examined her eyes, ears, mouth, teeth, throat, hands, and the examiner cut her nails and saved the nail trimmings, and also scraped some of her skin with like a little dull knife, like just kind of like a little bit of skin. And yeah, like, I don't know. He tested her nervous system and he thrusted a needle into her navel, which I think that was the most painful part that she went through, was the the examiner putting a needle on her like abdomen, like I think her belly button area. And then because during her um hypnosis, she was screaming and she was in pain. You can tell she was not, like, it was a painful experience. So that caused her agonizing pain. The leader waved his hand over her face or in front of her eyes, and the pain vanished.
What?
That's crazy, right? After the examiner left, Betty spoke with the leader. She picked up a book with strange symbols, and he told her she could take it. I'd be like, heck yeah, dude. I'd be taking everything. But see, when you're in that situation, I don't think that you're thinking like that. You're not like, hey, I'm going to like take evidence because nobody's going to believe me. But I just thought it was interesting that, that the Mr. Alien leader like had told them like, yeah, you can take the book. Yeah, go ahead. She asked where they came from, and he pulled down an instructional map dotted with stars. The men began escorting the hills from the ship when a disagreement broke out, and the leader told Betty she could not take the book. They were taken to their car after that. So I wanted to talk about this thing. So the map of the dotted stars, because I can share, like, should I share it now or should I share it after? Yeah, I'll just share it now. So she said that when they showed her the map of where they were from, it was like a 3D image where it looked like
a hologram.
Yes. Of course, holograms didn't exist back then.
Yeah.
Like, and so she kind of looked at it and she was like, oh, okay. So during her hypnosis, and I'm going to talk about that, the doctor that she was seeing told her to draw a map of the map, draw the map that they showed her. So I'll just show it after. Um, their drive should have taken 4 hours, and they did not realize that it had taken them 7 hours after their departure from Colebrook. So they spoke to Captain Ben H. Sewitt, a U.S. Air Force hypnotist, when he was a guest speaker at their church. They told him about their incident, and he was intrigued about their missing time, but he didn't really, take like their case. Like he was just like, okay, that's pretty interesting. And then on January 4th, 1964, Benjamin Simon of Boston began hypnosis on the hills, and it lasted about 6 months. So the whole series of hypnosis lasted about 6 months. Barney recalled witnessing non-human figures. He had fear and he would have emotional outbursts. He kept his eyes closed for much of the abduction and the examination. He felt that the entities were controlling his actions. He went off the road and saw 6 men. They approached the car, and the leader told Barney not to be afraid and to close his eyes. He felt like his eyes had been pushed in. Barney said that the beings would stare into his eyes, and they were mesmerizing. He felt like their eyes were inside his own. He was taken to the craft and into a room with a rectangle table. They examined him and took samples. Also, he had been probed, which was, okay, so I kind of want to, let's just talk about that a little bit. If you're going to come out and say things like that, like they did this to me, like you're putting your reputation on the line. Okay. So I'm thinking this must have had happened to him in order for him to like say that and talk about that. But also he was under hypnosis. So I don't know if he like, when you're under hypnosis, if you can hold back things or if you just say everything.
So. Yeah, I think you just say everything.
Yeah. He also said that he felt them counting his vertebrae. They spoke in an unknown language. They communicated with him telepathically. He recalled being escorted from the ship to his car in a trance, and he watched the ship leave. Barney remembered a light appearing on the road, and and he thought, oh no, not again. Betty speculated to be the moon, but the moon had set several hours earlier. Betty's account was similar to her dreams, with some differences. She experienced emotional distress. Betty was told by Simon to sketch the map of the stars, and she later described it as a three-dimensional projection similar to a hologram. Okay, so her map consisted of 12 prominent stars connected by lines, and three lesser ones that were formed in a distinctive triangle. She said that the stars connected by solid lines, which form trade routes, and the dashed lines were less traveled stars. So let me share the map that she drew, because there's a lot of like stuff that goes with that.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So here is the map that she drew. She drew the one with the white, right? Mm-hmm. The white paper. And then this is, I think it's called like the Zeta Articuli star system, which, if you guys didn't know, that's the one that Bob Lazar would talk about.
Wow.
And people say that that's where the grays come from, right? That region. So I thought this was very interesting because of how she had this experience, right? And then also like how the star system aligns with something that is actually out there.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean,
so
you can tell
they didn't specify on which one of those stars. They're like, oh, we're from one of these regions.
Well, I'm sure. Let me see if it has it on here. Because these, so basically the dotted ones were the less traveled ones, right? Like these.
Mhm.
And then these were like solid, like travel, like the ones where they would actually, Sitter Reticuli is right here. So, and then that's Sitter Reticuli 1, and then this one's the second one. So these are both of the star systems that they, I guess, come from. And that's the same star system that Bob Lazar was talking about when it came to like the crafts and like, you know, what he heard being talked about over at S4.
Yeah, and he made that public 3 years after this, most likely, because it was in 64, right?
When
I
he
think
came
so.
out?
Yeah, I believe so.
Was it? I don't remember. we did a show on him too, so. All right, so let me stop sharing. But it's still really interesting.
It is.
Yeah, thank you everybody.
It is.
Hit that like button. Hypnosis is guided. The therapist is the guide leading the way. Yeah. So he was like, hey, give me more information on that.
Yeah.
Okay. Simon speculated that Barney's abduction could have been a fantasy inspired by Betty's dreams. This was a more reasonable explanation, but Barney rejected the idea, noting that their memories were consistent. And they were, which Betty's abduction was a little bit different than her dreams. So, and I think that's one of the reasons also why I guess the I don't know, Simon felt like maybe it could have just been something that they
like he felt like there was a loss of credibility there.
I think so for them, but he said that they did have consistent
for the most
stories.
Part it was.
Yes. Later, many public reports came out in books. So there was like a lot of writing, like you can see here, right? They're holding this little like newspaper thing. And so it was in the newspaper. They did interviews, and so it was very out there back then. And which was also very interesting because, dude, like people would think things about you, right? Like if you came, especially back then, oh, these people, all the crazy people are talking about being abducted, you know, like, so do you really think that it would have been worth it for you to put that out there and kind of like
seem like a crazy person?
Yeah. Like, was it worth it to you? Like
I think honestly, yeah, like the only reason you would put that information is if like, it really happened to you. Like if you felt like, hey, this legitimately really did happen. And that's why I'm putting it out there,
And if you don't believe me, well, too bad. That's your problem.
Yeah,
right?
But you know what? It seems like there was a lot of activity going on in the 60s, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was kind
of
It
was
like
probably one of the main times that that these beings would travel. A mind made that statement up. That statement about Betty having a dream. Yeah. It's crazy. I believe it. I think that they were taken, and I think that, like, who are we to say they weren't, like, we can't say that what people experienced wasn't what they experienced.
Only they know what they experienced.
So Barney died of a cerebral hemorrhage.
Wow.
On February 25th of 1965 at the age of 46. He was a very young man.
Wow.
And Betty went on to become famous in the UFO community. She passed of cancer on October 17, 2004 at the age of 85. And she never remarried. I don't know if we talked about the part with her dress, right? Being ripped, and it had that pink thing, like pink powder on it. So basically that kind of to me was very interesting because what was it? What was the powder? What, obviously, if they said there was some information that stated that they did send out the dress for examination. I don't know. I tried to look for it. I tried to like find what the conclusion was on the on these tests that were run for on the dress, but I couldn't find anything. I don't know if any of you guys have heard of if they
Like,
did
what
test the
happened?
dress, what the substance was. Also, I don't know if they had radioactive material like in on any of their items that they had with them. The time, the watch stopping the time
Yeah.
was weird.
And the compass,
The
right?
compass, these odd shapes on the trunk of their car,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like, mm, come on, come on,
Yeah,
guys.
and then plus, add that into their hypnosis stories,
Yeah,
right? The dreams, the sketches, all that. Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like it's, yeah. Diane says, I believe they were taken, and Sue definitely believe it happened to them. Monica Lewinsky's dress analysis came to me. Yeah, but I mean, so there was like with the theories, okay, there was a lot of people that thought that it was a hoax,
Mhm.
especially because there was a lot of UFO things happening around that time. And so the people started to say that they picked up some of that and just kind of ran with it, which, okay, like if that was the case, what do you think they were doing it for fame?
Yeah, like what
Do you
was
think?
the outcome? Like fame? Was it money? For what? What was the motive?
Because if you really think about it, hi DJ Moore.
Hi.
If you really think about it, do people that have had these experiences, do they come up? Do they make money? Do they become rich?
Do you are they like big?
Yeah,
I
I
don't
mean
know.
Bob Lazar, like he was pretty big, but he was so paranoid. Like his
Yeah.
life was just turned upside down because he came out and talked
Yeah,
about
and
it.
I'm pretty sure he would have not wanted it.
He says that,
Yeah.
like if he probably wouldn't have said anything. I mean,
Because he seemed like he enjoyed his job, right?
he enjoyed his job, and he doesn't seem like the type of person that likes attention.
Yeah.
I mean, why else would they make it up? Like, what is the reasoning? Like, okay, well,
Yeah.
let's become famous out of let's make up the story and get famous and be out there and like,
Yeah, and I don't know, it seems like a lot of detail was put into like the story, right?
yeah. And I think that Betty had mentioned that they did do like, what is it, that
Oh,
test,
the polygraph?
the polygraph test, and that it came back as truth, like she was telling the truth. And so it came out it in she to like up until the time that she passed, she talked about it and she was very open about it, and she would say that it did happen and she stood by it. And you know it's interesting. It's interesting to me, and I find it truthful because a lot of people that have gone through this same experience
Yeah.
have similar stories,
Yeah,
right?
and that's what I was gonna say. There's a lot of people who have similar stories, similar details, and to make up a story like this, like okay, they drew this little star system that happens to be like
That they had no
legitimate.
idea about.
Yeah, that it happens to be legitimate. Like how would they make up this star system? Did they have any access to like
Astrology
yeah,
in any
things
way,
like that?
or
Yeah, yeah. Did they have like jobs where they can have access to a star system like that? Like did their jobs allow them?
no.
Like did they
She
have
was
a
a social
position?
worker and he worked
Yeah.
for the postal office.
So, pretty, typical jobs. So how would they have access to, like information like that, right?
Yeah, and I don't know, I kind of like I said, like there's been so many people that have had similar stories where they see the light, right? They have missing time. The creatures look the same. They have they get tested on. What is that one we just did?
Travis?
Travis Walton.
Yeah.
Okay, it was same occurrence, right? Like he was beamed up, taken up into this craft. He was put in a little rectangle,
Yeah,
like little table. He was examined. I think did they telepathically communicate with him too?
I think so. I think.
I don't remember him saying anything about them talking. But see, so it's kind of like similar, like these experiences that people claim they have, even with like, because they say that, okay, the Zeta Reticuli star system is where
Yeah.
the grays come from. So a lot of people say that even people that haven't been abducted or have experienced seeing these creatures, they say that they look the same, right? The big eyes, the small nose, small little mouth, right? You can say they are lying because they got nothing to gain by it. And we were not there. Exactly. We were not there.
Yeah.
And then also, like, I don't think that saying things like that is gonna per se get you like positive attention. I think a lot of people, like we say, would be very skeptical, and then they would like even start
Finding
name
ways to,
calling and being like,
yeah,
oh, like.
finding ways to question your validity of your story, things
But I
like
feel like
that.
that's always going to be a thing. Like, no matter, even if you, like, let's say, provide a
Yeah.
clear evidence. If you provide clear evidence of something, I think you're still going to get
Criticism because
exactly.
people want facts, So, yeah.
Yeah, and so I think that that's one of the things with the paranormal field, the UFO field, the
Any field
Squatch,
of
like,
things you
with
can't
even with
explain.
yeah, with the Sasquatch, even with like people share evidence and it's always like not enough.
Yeah, it's never
It's
enough.
constructed, it's a hoax, it's not real. Like, so and that kind of gets us, okay, well, are you here like because you want to like just criticize everything, or are you here because you're interested in it and you want to learn about it and you want to know what it was like or what their story was?
Mm-hmm.
And so I feel like that's how I see it. I'm always like, yeah, dude, like share your story, tell me about it, and let me, you know, think what I want to think. I mean, I'm
Yeah.
not going to say you're not right for you're not true. I'm
Yeah.
not going to say you're lying because I don't know that. I wasn't there, but
You
I
know,
think it's definitely interesting and definitely possible.
yeah, a story is a story and stories are interesting,
Yeah.
Since like the start of like the
Time.
first story, yeah, stories have always been interesting.
Yeah, but I found this case very interesting and I found it very scary in a way because even you can go onto YouTube and hear their hypnosis therapy,
Wow.
and it's, I don't know, like, oh, it just sounds scary. Like you can hear how Betty is scared, um, and what she talks about, and then even with Barney, like when he talks about his experience and he kind of like starts to feel scared and afraid, and it sounds very real. So I don't know. I want to say yeah, it
Mm-hmm.
happened. What do you think?
Because I don't know, man. I mean, it happened. They know.
Yeah,
I mean, it sounds very intense.
it does.
So very very detailed.
Yeah, but yeah, I think that's what we have for you guys. Let us know if you guys have any questions, or if you guys uh, have any thoughts on it. I would love to hear that. I would love to hear you guys' thoughts on it. And if, I mean, of course, some of, like you guys have already said, there's a few of you that think that it did happen.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I don't know. I just find it, I also want to know what happened to the dog, because the dog obviously was exposed as well, right?
Yeah.
And what did they do? Did they just leave the dog, like the little aliens? Did they leave the dog in the car while they were being abducted?
And like through a long span of time, right? And a distance, right? Because they ended up 35 other miles south, right?
Did they beam the car with the dog in it?
Yeah, poor animal.
Oh,
Mm.
deworm. I think they did. I think they did. Because I've heard of people going through a similar situation and they have these weird devices or little like they can feel it under their skin. Like
Wow.
I've even seen pictures of like implants being removed. Like it's pretty crazy. And if they do,
Wow.
like let's say they do chip someone, what is it for? Why do you guys think they do it?
Well, I don't know. I'm thinking since, they used them for all kinds of experimental purposes, right? Doing all these experiments. Do you think they chip them to keep track?
Like
Like,
we do to like the dolphins and like the sharks and stuff?
yeah, like, oh, let's see, like, let's do these experiments. Let's chip them so we can keep track of what the progress is like or what. I don't know. Interesting. It's interesting.
And do you guys think that maybe like this experience could have had something to do with like Barney's early like his departure, like because he passed away
Yeah.
from a hemorrhage, right? So do you guys think that maybe eventually like there could have been something that
Like a
lingered?
correlation
Uh-huh.
between that.
I
I
don't
mean,
know.
pretty intense deaths, right?
Yeah.
Um, so I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, biohack to see like biohack life blood study, nutrition, emotions, habits. Yeah.
Because, I'm thinking about like when they chip pets,
Mm-hmm.
it's usually for what? To keep track of where they are, right?
Mm-hmm.
So,
The other thing is, so when people like are abducted initially, do you guys think that they continue to be abducted? Like they continue to visit and they continue to like kind of abduct you while you're asleep? Or is it just a
mm,
one-time affair? Like,
I don't know.
how does that work?
I feel like it's a one-time affair.
Yeah. You always get marked, so to speak. They get you no matter where you are. Virtually an experiment to them. Great show. Y'all always enjoy your show. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
I don't want to be an experiment. I don't think I don't think I want to experience anything like that because
Okay.
that's insane. Also can record information like mobile medical record.
Interesting. Yeah, like keeping track of like how it's
Our
going.
health. Or they're like, hey,
Interesting.
let's just release a little like bio whatever little illness on them and get them sick and
Because I
see.
mean, who knows? If they were coming from, where'd you say, Seta Star?
Zetarticuli.
Yeah, like we don't know what type of technology they have, right?
Wow. Yeah.
Like we don't know what they have. I mean, they obviously have these spacecrafts that are silent, right?
Mm-hmm.
That you don't see them coming. So, yeah, we don't know like what their technology would be like.
Some people do get abducted once, and then some is a life of visits, which I have heard of that. I have heard of people that they continue to get visits even throughout their lifetime.
Wow.
Yeah, where they like see them. It's like a normal thing now. Like they're always there.
They become
And
friends.
but they also do say that there's different entities. It's not just one type of alien. Like there's different extraterrestrials that come from different star systems, I guess. Pretty interesting. If they do put a chip and or implant in someone, it is the same as us tracking their pet or our wildlife.
Yeah.
That's what Eileen was saying. Yeah, that's I don't know how I feel about that.
Yeah.
And the other thing that kind of bothers me too is the fact that when people get abducted and they make these they do these examinations, people like are in pain, they scream, they feel, and
Yeah.
these entities seem like it doesn't bother them.
Yeah, like they're kind of like emotionless
Yeah,
in
like
that aspect.
okay, stop. Like you're being annoying. And then they just kind of like he waved his little hand and like, you know?
Mm.
So that kind
Interesting.
of like trips me out. Like they don't care about like human emotions, or they
Or
just
maybe
don't
they don't,
understand.
yeah, maybe they don't have any and they're trying to understand them. Like pain, things like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, about the chip and tracking pattern wildlife, yeah, it reminds me of like cattle. When you have a large amount of cattle and you put the little the little tracker things on their ears, right, to keep track of how many you have and make sure they're all there.
Yeah, I'm not down for
Yeah.
that. They come back for the subject if the info needs extraction or upgrade. So scary. Okay, this was for Sean, but it sounds interesting.
Yeah.
I saw a video years ago about a person having one removed and sent to Los Alamos lab. They tested the metal and it's not from here. Oh,
Wow.
that's crazy. Sean, you have an implant? I didn't know that. I know that some of my other YouTube friends have talked about that, but how do you know? Do you feel it? How did you find it, Sean? Let me
Dig it out.
Sean.
Oh, right there.
It is on my right shin bone. When I had my leg amputated, left leg, I checked then and it was gone. Now it's back.
Wow.
So do you think, Sean, that they kind of like come and visit you? Like, have you had any experiences? I'm sure you have. I know that you have your fair share of like experiences. Hey, but I'm going to put this on here, Sean, if you want to come and let us and share, if you have a minute. The tall grays were the worst. Yeah, that's what I hear. I hear that
Yeah.
the grays are probably like the most, like the meaner ones.
A little more aggressive.
Have to have emotion under control to get that work done.
Wow.
Okay, I have also seen where they've removed chips, but some couldn't be removed. Yeah, I remember. Wasn't there like a story one time about a woman that had one like somewhere in her face? That's crazy. Wow, that's amazing. Sure, you're definitely on the radar. Ooh,
Wow.
that's scary. I would go get it removed. I'd be like, yes, please take it out. But yeah, I put the stream on there. If anybody wants to join and say hi, you're more than welcome. But yeah, I was checking out Bass and Truth earlier. They had a great show. I woke up thinking it's daylight outside, then fell back to sleep and woke up not that long after it was dark. Wow.
Wow.
So you slept for like hours? Grays are drones evil little boogers. They would just put it back if it was removed.
Wow.
You think
imagine?
so? Dang. I mean, is there a way to keep them away? Like, is there something?
You're just gonna be like, find another test subject, or what?
Just give them attitude. Because do you guys remember, like, Travis Walton actually tried to like beat some of them up while he was on the craft?
Yeah.
But they didn't seem to like get bothered by it. Like, I don't know. That's crazy. So what if like, I don't know. I mean, how can you keep them away? Like,
yeah, like what is the selection process?
I think
Right?
that they have specific people that they look for or choose in a way, I guess, if I can call, I don't know. But I think definitely because like with Barney, right? Barney and Betty, they went out of their way to stop and look at it and do all that, right? So did
Yeah.
Travis. Travis got out of the car and he was looking at it. Do you think maybe they're like, oh, look, these curious people, like, let's,
They're curious. All right.
You want to be curious?
Aboard the ship.
Nah, man, that's scary.
Yeah.
Take it out and carry it in your wallet. That's scary, Sean. But
Yeah.
yeah, well, I mean, put it on your neighbor's dog. I interviewed Lisa O'Hara. She wrote Abducted and Furious. She wakes up during the abduction sometimes.
Wow.
My maternal grandmother. Oh, wait. Hi, Arlene.
Hi.
My maternal grandmother and me and my son. What do you mean? Like, you guys see them? Or but yeah. I don't know, you guys. I just don't want to experience anything like that. I mean,
Yeah.
it's interesting to talk about because you don't know what people, what their experiences are, what they go through, you know? But I think, like, if there's a way that you can, like, maybe they can stay away, avoid it in a way, yeah. There is supposed to be some kind of deal with the government. They can test on certain number of people in exchange for technology.
Wow.
That's crazy. That would be so messed up. If it is true, that's messed up. Like, I would be like, excuse me?
Excuse me?
Why are you letting these why don't they do it on themselves, you know? What? Wait, you guys are tripping me out.
It gets more and more intense.
Look at this. Sean, was O'Hara impregnated?
What?
It wouldn't put it past. Yeah, I think so too. Missing 411. But you know, if that is the case, right? Couldn't there be another like way? I mean, why would is that the only agreement? Like, hey, you can experiment or use our fellow human beings as experiments while we give you what you need.
Okay, but
we're already giving you technology and water, bro. Like,
yeah, like what's the purpose? Like, why don't they?
No, but they're giving us technology information, and in exchange.
Okay, but like, why don't they just exchange it? Oh, because they don't need our technology, right? Yeah. Okay.
No, they don't. We need their technology.
Yeah, we need theirs because obviously they have they're advanced. So in return, they want to understand humans.
Yeah, that's what it seems like. Okay, most people are abducted when they are asleep more than awake, as they don't realize they're chipped only when they find them. Also, chips are found in all different parts of the body. I think the Grays broke the deal because they are abducting and testing way more people than they should be, and there's nothing we can do about it.
So they broke their treaty?
DJ, was it Roosevelt that made that deal? I heard that too. Okay, I think Lisa said she was impregnated. Did she ever have the baby? That's crazy. There is a deep dive if you get into the Antarctica rabbit hole. Yeah, we tried to do the like a little Arctic like thing, but man, there's so much stuff happening.
Yeah, there is.
And you know, one thing that I do want to talk about is the what is it, that UFO off the coast here of California that comes out of the water? I think it's, what is it called? I don't remember what it's called. See, I'm tired. Sean, you read it.
I have had similar thing like that about walking up, being daylight, and then
waking up.
Oh, yeah, waking up and then being dark quick. I have also had situations where when something dramatic happens in my life, I see strange lights in the sky. Wow.
I'd say put a tattoo of the cross on your belly button.
I know that's kind of intense for them to stick a needle in the belly button. Isn't the
Uh-uh.
belly button very sensitive? you
Yeah.
know? Man.
But see, and that's the other thing with Barney. They took samples. And one of the samples they took was a sperm sample.
Uh-huh.
Why?
So they're trying to understand.
Why would they take that?
They're trying to.
Why would they, and then why would they like go in her belly button? Why would they go and like, what did they inject her with, or what were they trying to extract?
Yeah.
I don't know who made the deal, but I read something somewhere about it. They take the baby in the first trimester. Why? Why? They do know how to
What?
slice a steak. They take women's eggs also.
Hey, if they're taking eggs, man, you better charge for that, huh? Be like,
Dude, what if
nah.
they're making like another human civilization in another place?
Yeah, that's probably why they're trying to understand.
Like they're trying to create. I don't
Wow.
know. I don't want to think about that. That's not normal.
Ay.
Aliens won't take me. I'll try to hijack the ship. I got a great engine. Yes, imagine I mean, if you're already there, right? Like, I would just be the troublemaker. The guy I mentioned in the chat named Cito was a
Thai shaman in Africa, and he explained how he went missing and was pretty trippy, but similar to 411, he's definitely one of those to look into. To create hybrids? Wow.
Nah, man. That's scary. They're impregnating women and making hybrids. Some of them are here on Earth, and some of the children are living with the ETs. After the children are born, they show them to the human mothers. That's not cool. They keep the babies. But I mean, what is it because they can't like have babies on their own? Like,
okay, but like if they can't, how is there many of them?
And that's the other thing. If they see us as a lower civilization, like what would the reasoning be of them trying to, have a hybrid? If they think like, oh, humans are like,
Yeah.
Can you imagine seeing an alien version of a child that looks like you? No. Brother.
Oh my gosh.
That's crazy. I don't even want to. That's like, yeah, see, that's on another level. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
But definitely, I think they are trying to experiment, right? They're trying to.
Yeah, that's what it seems like.
Yeah, they're trying to see how life here is. That wouldn't be mind blowing. One day you're pregnant and then next you're not.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that sounds crazy. All right. Yeah, but I don't know. I mean, I think this was a definitely interesting story. The Travis Walton one is very interesting as well. And I'm pretty sure that there's many other cases of people that have been abducted and that have had similar experiences, especially like when you hear it from people that wouldn't lie about it.
Yeah.
Right? And they've had experience, they've seen things. And so it just gets you thinking, like, how are all these people just making up the same thing?
Yeah. It does. It does make you think.
See, D-worm, man, I'm telling you.
Maybe they crossbreed us with their own kind, so they function better here. Oh.
So, do you think that they're eventually trying to like take over? Like, hey, like, we'll have all of ours there. Hi, Julie. Welcome.
Hi.
The dumbs are being used for experiments for hybrids. The mothers always know the children are there when they meet them. They can't reproduce on their own. I don't know.
Wow.
That's crazy. I don't. Well, I hope that that's not the case. I hope they're not trying to take over and then we probably, because a lot of people say, okay, some aliens are already here. They're already amongst us, right?
Yeah.
And so if that's the case, then they look human.
Yeah.
So we wouldn't even know anyways.
Yeah,
I wonder if they did like ancestry, if it would come out like
ancestry.
They would come out like unknown
error.
Yeah. That would be crazy.
It'll send you to what is it? The Zeta star system?
Yes, that are reticuli. Or it would like show like a star as like they're like that would be But see, even if they, because okay, like let's say the aliens are not capable of reproducing themselves and they need humans to do it, or maybe they can reproduce, but we just kind of like you guys said, they're trying to do hybrids. I kind of find that like, why don't they just bring themselves here instead of like going through all that trouble? But maybe, like they said, maybe they're not able to function here on Earth as well as they are in their own system, right? In their own, I guess, planet system.
Okay, but they don't want to just stay in their own space though?
But maybe there's a reason why they can't stay in their own space.
But I mean, it sounds like it's better than here, you know what I mean?
But I mean, like, even if you guys really think about it, look at us as humans, right? We're struggling to be here too. Like, yeah, that's true. We're sickling people.
Global warming, right?
Yeah, we're killing our own planet. We're like always like allergies are in, right? In the spring.
And let's not forget about mosquitoes in the summer.
Yeah, half of the insects are trying to eat us, suck us dry.
Yeah.
And so I kind of feel like even ourselves, would you try to go if you knew of another place where you can live healthy and you can like be worry free? Would you try to
find a way of how to make it work there in that planet?
Maybe. But then again, like you yourself can't live in it. So you make hybrids, alien hybrids?
For like the future generations or what?
I mean, what do you think? If there was an alien, right, that was captured, do you think that people would, like the government, right? Let's say the government has this alien. Do you think that they would try to like make a hybrid out of them, or I mean, they would definitely experiment with it, right?
Yeah.
And I don't think per se they would be friendly or kind.
So there's a question, comment there. I don't know if you skipped it.
They've been walking amongst us for many years. Okay, where?
Right here.
I don't believe that they're trying to take over. If they were, they'd had done it thousands of years ago. Yeah. And like G-Worm was saying, maybe they just can't live here, in our planet. Oh, negative. I do not have mosquito problems.
Oh, that's awesome.
Sean.
And mosquitoes, let me look.
Oh, negative plus mosquitoes love me. I wonder if they target specific blood types.
Yeah, that's a good question.
That is a good question. The government would want to breed with them. See, and that's the thing. Like, would we be doing the same thing they are? Why does my mic sound weird?
Like, to see if you can survive, like, I don't know. Maybe if you found out your planet was coming to an end, maybe then you would want to do like,
okay, you would hybrid
like that.
Okay, like, but the thing is that you're trying to save yourself.
No, but maybe that there's no hope for yourself, so that's what you're trying to do, like, reproducing for future generations to survive.
Kind of like Interstellar.
Yeah.
So many videos out there now showing the hybrids. It's a bloody nightmare what they're doing with animals and humans. Like lab created creatures, and like even with the Dogman, right? They talk about how it's a possibility that it could be a lab created like thing, right?
Wow.
Which, why would you do like a create like something like that? Like, why? Yeah, I can see like trying to make super soldiers maybe, but then again, they're gonna come to a point where you can't control it, right?
Yeah.
They're gonna have their own um
Like mind of their own.
mind abilities, yeah, and they're gonna do their own thing. Most of the Greys are clones, but why are they so evil? Like, why do they say they're so evil? Like, because they're the more aggressive ones?
The Greys may not have a planet of their own anymore. They need to reproduce with us so they can live on Earth.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Wow.
See, and this is like there's so many things that that we don't know, right? With the planet, the system, the solar system,
Yeah.
even like the black holes, the wormholes, like how everything works, and all the planets we have. And so I think that there's definitely other things out there that you know that we don't know about, and so people have and I feel like we know more than or our planet people from our planet know more than
Then they're leading on, or
they're
that
leading on
they're
to, and they
giving.
just covering it up or try because of course there will be mass hysteria,
Yeah.
right? I think with anything now coming
Yeah,
forward, there's going to be hysteria.
I mean, just look at how that whole situation played out with the quarantining, right? Right? How did that play out?
Exactly.
Quarantining, they finished all the food, people were in panic. And can you imagine?
Yeah.
I know, thank you. That's a compliment.
Yeah, that's nice. And then the government office holders are perverted version distortion. They take what they want and do what they want behind closed doors. That's messed up. Like, I don't understand. But then again, hysteria, right?
Yeah.
There's people that aren't open to this kind of stuff or that they're not woke or they're not.
You know what? Yeah, because if you think about it, imagine people who don't believe in any of that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
How do you think they would react when you just, hit them with that? Like, boom, here you go. This is what's going on. You know what I mean? And they never believed any of that to be true. I think that, yeah, they would be, shocked.
Yeah.
Right?
And they would definitely lose their stuff.
Yeah.
Maybe go.
Maybe they need to test the levels of our environment to see if it works for them as well. Same as if we wouldn't take our helmets off on a new planet until we have worked out the levels first. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Or, I mean, just, what if these hybrids, they're kind of like using them as like, how would you say it? To become resistant.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So they kind of like, they create these hybrids, right?
Okay.
And then they start to like take some of their DNA or some of their whatever.
So creating
and injecting it in themselves to kind of create like a little, like
a species that would be able to withstand like the
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, what if they're like creating these hybrids, and then these hybrids are going to be more resistant than they are, so they're going to kind of like use some of their DNA and kind of put it on themselves, so they're able to kind of
so like okay, it's making me think like if you think of an example, like let's say humans were trying to live in Mars, right? Obviously there's obviously a lot of like carbon dioxide that doesn't make it habitable, right?
Yeah.
So you would think that they would be trying to like genetically modify humans to be able to live in like another planet like that, like Mars, to where they could be able to withstand that amount of carbon dioxide. Yeah, that's a possibility, dude. Something like that.
Go to his retired U.S. Army. He's shown where all the dams around the world. Australia is like a honeycomb. So is America, U.S., are us and most countries hundreds of years old. No, I haven't heard of Gene. I'm gonna have to look him up. Just listen, Phil Schneider, who had a gunfight with the Greys. Like a resistance to a disease. Yes. Exactly. That's exactly what I'm trying to get at. You know, so they kind of, because that kind of made sense to me. Like if they're trying to make these hybrids and kind of using their DNA to kind of make themselves more capable of living in our atmosphere. See, I mean, once you start winding it, you know,
there's no unwinding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy, you guys. Yeah, but I love it. I love when you guys come in here and kind of like share because it just gets my mind going. But yeah, I mean, oh, what?
Wow.
Oh, no, that's not cool. But even then, I mean, time and time again, things like weird things happen, right? Even the missing 411. There was a point in time where like there was a lot of like doctors going missing and like,
Wow.
you know, very intelligent people. Schneider, I wonder if he was a planned information leak and he came across new information they did not want to get out. Ew.
Wow.
Yeah, you guys, like it gets pretty intense.
Yeah.
But I mean, what would you do to keep it under wraps, Eileen? If that was your if that was your thing?
You know,
like if you were in charge and you didn't want people to freak out, like how would you keep it under wraps, you know?
I think you could always try your best, but at some point it's just going to slip out, you know?
Or do you think you should just let them have it? Just like, here you go. This is what's happening.
Yeah.
If you guys get out of hand,
you best believe we're going to just let them have it. Yeah, I'd be like, here you go.
Yeah, media and celebrities. I don't know. I mean, because the people that, like, because there's people that are close-minded, right? That they don't want to, like, no, this is all fake. Aliens are not real. Like, none of this is happening. Like, it's all, there's no Sasquatch. All that is fake. Like, and once you hit them with it, they'll trip. I think they'll trip for sure.
You know what? That's pretty interesting. Send out disinformation hidden in plain sight. What if you were to
we told you guys?
Yeah, we told you in kind of a
that's
subtle
what's happening
way.
now. That's what's happening now with the disclosure, right? Like, oh, there's unidentified UFOs captured by our U.S. Air Force.
You know, kind of like, hey, we're telling you in a subtle way so you don't freak out as much.
But then they come up with this dumb explanation for it, and it's like, dude,
a dumb explanation.
It could have been some, like, you know, fossils created in the whatever. And I was like, dude, stop. It's definitely
stop right there.
Yeah, like we're not really. If the truth is too crazy to believe, why not let it out? Disinformants are that aren't likable.
Truth is scarier than fiction.
Yes, and that's true. That's definite. I mean, I think so.
So what if they do that? Like, what if they insert the truth in fiction? You know what I mean?
Like movies?
Yeah.
They do that though?
I don't know.
They've been doing that. Like they've been hitting us with Interstellar. They've been hitting us with Moonfall. They've been hitting us with like all these space. What's that one with
which is the one I was
the
telling
Netflix?
You about?
The Netflix one?
Which is the Netflix one?
It's another like space movie.
Well, the
time travel movie.
Yeah, I thought the Lost in Space was pretty good. But yeah, there's a lot of space ones, you know.
And you know, even like the werewolves, right? Do you guys remember like the underworld movies, right? With werewolves in them. They would disclose on one page, but they then talk about LeBron. Yes, they would disclose on one page and then talk about LeBron on the other page, which would be seen more.
Yeah.
Dude, like with the slap, okay, like the Will Smith
Oh
slap.
yeah, with the Will Smith situation, yeah.
But then right under our noses, they're trying to like, they're trying to pass all these bills.
Oh my gosh.
Right? But everybody's distracted with Will Smith. I'm done. You guys, every time I open my phone, it's something about Will Smith, and I'm
You've
like,
already
dude,
seen so many versions
I
of the
don't
same.
want. Can you guys stop? I'll have to watch Moonfall. Yeah, I watched it recently. It was interesting. Yeah, it wasn't what I expected, but it was interesting.
So I believe
Soft
movies,
disclosure.
yeah, or soft disclosure. Mm-hmm.
No one in the family believes in any of this stuff except my 91-year-old mom. Man, your mom's cool.
That's cool.
Yay. My parents, we tell our parents, and my parents are like, yeah, like, we got them in the loop.
Yeah.
Sean, I agree. Those who are so-called whistleblowers are around for years, and they then suddenly taken out.
Once they cross the line.
Yeah. I believe in the moon landing. Yeah. You know what? They were talking about that in Truth's channel today, how they found things in the first moon landing, and that's why they never went back, which I find that very interesting, because what if it is a possibility that they did find something?
So I think probably referring that to the last comment where, like, right, the soft disclosure,
Yeah,
right, to get us used to the idea. Mm-hmm.
The main trouble with everything that questions anything is people can't get out of their own comfort zones. Too many have a set of beliefs, and that's all they will accept. And that's not only that's the sad thing about it, is that it's not only with this type of scenario, or with this type of
like it could be with anything.
Exactly.
Like just stubborn in their ideology.
Exactly. Yeah, when it's hitting you in the face, like you're getting slapped by it, and you still don't want to like accept it. Like no. Like that's
Hey, when you're
thing.
seeing it with your own eyes, but you prefer to close your eyes instead.
Wait, what was it? Do you remember that thing they said? Oh, I saw it, but you didn't think you saw what you. I can't remember. When it was like a cheating thing. You think you saw me, but it wasn't.
No, don't believe what you saw. Are you gonna believe your eyes,
or are you gonna believe me? Yeah.
Wow.
Let's see. Diane, movies are definitely used exactly for that. I think so.
Yeah.
Or distract us from the war. Nobody cares about Will anymore, but Hollywood is highly self-absorbed. Yeah, I'm done with it. It's like, dude, he did it. What are we, like, what else is there? It happened, and it was weird.
And it was unfortunate.
Yeah, like, I don't know. Remember the Senate shot down making, what is it?
Chimeras illegal in the USA. Who knows what's walking around genetically speaking?
Yeah, exactly. Sometimes I try to read stuff in Spanish. Sorry, you guys.
So next one, it says alopecia is #1 Googled word. Pfizer is sponsored
the Oscars. Pfizer has stopped selling. Yes, I saw that.
Wow.
I was not surprised. I was like, really? You guys? It's crazy. Like, it's crazy what they do. Like,
wow.
Joe Rogan had the
granddaughter of Betty and Barney Hill on this show.
Oh. Was it a while back? Because I thought that there was something. I went on, when I was doing the research, I went onto one of their videos, and it said something that Joe Rogan had brought them there. So I was like, oh, so he probably talked about it. But that's cool. Sean, I couldn't believe the article when I read it. Being created, scary stuff. What is, I don't know what that is, you guys. Okay, Chimera? What is it? Chimera? Can you guys explain that?
I think Hollywood and many others are being rounded up. We're seeing less of them around the past few years and less movies being made.
Yeah, that's true. She is an MMA fighter.
Oh, she fought for the UFC.
And what happened?
Crossing critters.
Equals
Human
humans
and animal DNA blending.
Oh, heck
What?
no. I don't want to know, Sean. Yeah, I'm like, okay, I want to know. Now I'm like, no, I don't want to know. It's a Greek monster.
Half lion, half goat.
Oh, okay. That's creepy. Yeah, no. But
Wow.
I don't know. It's definitely crazy. And I'm just done with all this.
Yeah.
All this other stuff that's going on that doesn't really, it's not, there's other stuff happening that's crazier than Will Smith slapping the poor little guy.
Poor Chris.
Poor Chris, yeah. So there's worse things happening, you guys, and I'm glad that none of us here are falling for it. Let me see. Hey, what's up, you guys? Hey, Chad Smith. Thanks for stopping by. Yeah. It looked to me like it was. Yeah, Sean. Like, I don't know. It looked to me like it was at first, and I was like, oh, okay, whatever.
But then he got like angry, and I'm like, oh,
all right,
it looked
dude.
like legitimate anger.
Diane, yes,
probably not the best way to handle a situation like that, but I guess.
Yes, I agree, Diane. Just to distract us from the real problems, exactly, and that's what I was saying. That underneath like all that drama, they like the government like is trying to pass bills on like right under our noses, and we're just like focused on other things. I don't know. It looked fake. It did look fake to me. Yeah. Or when they are crossed two species together. See, and that's not normal. Even like for us, like to be doing that with animals here on Earth, I don't think that's normal. That's just trying to do something that
a good bacon recipe.
I'd rather have a good bacon recipe versus reading about Will Smith. Yeah, I'm done, you guys. Like every time I open my phone, that's all I see, and it's like, all right, no, I don't care. Like
they made so many TikToks of it,
Yeah, and it's like, I don't know, whatever. I don't care. Let's move on. Yeah, but yeah, and that's just how life is. We're kind of used to it, right? We're kind of used to being distracted from the reality of things, and we just got to make sure we stay on track. But the good thing is that we have each other. Everybody here in the chat, we have each other to kind of keep ourselves informed. But imagine people are actually more into that than the war. Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, it takes us to Mars.
That's funny. Imagine. We'll be Martians, you guys.
Martians.
Yeah. Yeah, but I'm going to be, I guess, ending it here because I gotta go take my children. We're going to go watch Sonic 2. So I'll let you guys know how I liked it today and Sean's show. So everybody, Sean's going to be on in his channel. Like, I think he goes on today at 6, if I'm not mistaken. Is that right, Sean? I don't know if he left already, but yeah, stay tuned for Sean's show later coming up. It's going to be great. I stopped watching movie years ago when I found out what they all was doing, pure evil. Yeah, I see. I know what you're talking about, Sue. Yeah, it's hard to cover up. Let's see. A genocide with a slap it got my attention for a couple minutes, but celebrities are far from my focus right now. Yeah, exactly. And that's exactly how I feel. Like there's other things that are happening and I don't, they need to fix their problems. He wants to die on Mars. He's weird. He's a weird, awesome dude. Okay, there you go. So Sean's going to be on today at 6 Pacific time and 9 Eastern time. So yeah, and
here's another one.
A Paranormal Chop Shop will be live at 8 p.m. Eastern time. See you guys later tonight. Yes, I go on there a lot too to check you guys out. So you guys are awesome out there too. Love the show. Thank you, great, so much. I appreciate you, Diane, and everybody. Arlene, Sue, thank you guys for being here. We came from Mars. Hey. Saying thousands of people are homeless because of the flooding, but our government's sending money overseas. Yeah, I know. It's so sad. There's a lot of people that are suffering out there. And, there's, like I said, bigger problems than, celebrity issues. But yeah, well, thank you guys. Thank you everybody for showing up, and we appreciate you. And I hope you guys enjoyed this show. And we'll be here next week, I believe. Yeah, I think so. So we appreciate it and hope you guys enjoyed it. And thank you guys for being here. It means a lot to us that you guys show up. So, and send us comments and chat with us. So thank you. We appreciate all of you and have a great day. And don't forget to go out and check Sean's show and the Paranormal Chop Shop as well. And thank you guys. And we'll see you on the next one.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.